Hi, my name's Tony Kensington and I'm the leader at Aspirations. And here we got a 30-minute video of the workshop that I did at the Kent 2020 Live on the 22nd of October. This will help you get beyond your first 36 months. So this video will be relevant for you if you're thinking of starting a business or have recently started a business, and covers the 5 pitfalls that us at Aspirations have found a lot of new businesses fall into, and I can assure you when I started my business I did exactly the same. So please sit back, enjoy the video, and if you've got any questions there's contact details at the end and we'd love to hear what you think of it. Thank you. Getting beyond the first 36 months of your business. On today's agenda we're going to go through who I am, the 5 biggest pitfalls to avoid when starting up your own business, what's in it for you, and the help that Aspirations can provide. My name's Tony Kensington and I'm the leader at Aspirations, and I love a challenge. Here I am with my 2 sons in the base of the Eiffel Tower, having cycled 270 miles from Sittingbourne to Paris in aid of Demelza, a great local charity. There I am again doing an assault course. It's something that I've always wanted to do ever since I used to watch Krypton Factor on the telly as a child. And I got the chance to do it a couple of weeks ago at a hot farm. Chance to do it a couple of weeks. Great muddy fun. Aspirations. Back in February of 2004, we was accredited with the Investors in People Silver Award, which the whole team was very proud of, but it's now set us a goal so that for in the next 12 months we can get our gold accreditation, and everyone's fully aligned and behind that. We're part of the Medway 100 Club, because we firmly believe in giving back to the local community as part of our success, so that we can enjoy that with a charitable cause and give them a helping hand up. And also, we was absolutely delighted that in November 2013, we was awarded Independent Firm of the Year for the South East at the British Accountancy Awards. And we've been nominated again for 2014, so hopefully we'll be able to go back and retain our title. Last but no means least, here's part of the great team at Aspirations enjoying Asians in afternoon over at Brentwood Karting, which was great fun. At Brentwood Karting, we firmly believe in that when you have your business, make sure you're having fun. So, enough about me. What are these 5 biggest pitfalls that businesses face in their first 36 months? Well, you've got a lack of focus or why. The research and planning hasn't been done sufficiently. How do you stand out from a very crowded marketplace? What happened to the cash? And making sure that you keep on track. Just as I did when I started my business back in December 2000, I was a qualified accountant leaving industry. And I was very good on my what. I could explain in huge detail what my what was and what services I was going to do, what I was going to do for my clients, but I wasn't very good on my how. And that's what a lot of business owners, when they start their business, I say are very good on the what, but how are they going to deliver that service? What's the method they're going to use to win and keep customers? And then even more rarely is why are we doing what we're doing? Why is it important to our customers? Why is it important to us? And are we conveying that in absolutely everything that we do? Because if you don't, then the chances of having a great successful business are reduced. Not saying you can't have a business, but it is reduced. Rather than starting from the what and working to the why, the successful business starts from the why and works out to the what. And we got an example of this in the great battle between the 2 computer companies of the 20th century, Apple and Microsoft. If we take Bill Gates and Microsoft, he wanted to put a PC on every desk and in every home. And I think from that, he was a success. But when you look at how they marketed and their product, it was all very much around the what. They spoke about how fast their RAM was, fast, the storage capacity, their processors, what features the software had. Unlike Steve Jobs at Apple, they never clearly conveyed the why. And for Steve, it was to upset the status quo by thinking differently. And how did he do that? Well, he made products that were beautifully designed and worked extremely well. And then in the what, it was like with the iPod, 1,000 songs in your pocket. Do you want to buy one of these products? And as we know, people will queue for hours and hours for the latest release of an Apple product, something that you don't come across when the latest version of Windows is released or a new feature is added. Now, to find out more on finding your why, I thoroughly recommend that you watch Simon Sinek's TED Talk on YouTube. It's about 18-20 minutes, and it explores further the importance of your why and how you can convey that in everything that you do, together with some examples of some successes and failures. So well worth a watch. Now, the second pitfall, is there a market for what you're going to do? What market research have you undertaken before starting your business? Because you need to specify what's the level of want or demand for my product or service. Is there sufficient demand out there to give me the income that I need for my business? And then if there is that demand, who are my customers? What do they look like? Where do they hang out, and how am I going to reach them? So that when you've started your business and you've got all your stuff ready, how are you going to communicate that to your customers? And then who else is in the marketplace doing exactly what you intend to do in your area? Have a look at their websites, their marketing material. If you can, go and have a chat with them. See what they're doing and how they're doing it. And most importantly, why are they doing it? And then that may help you to shape how you're going to do your business. Then consider, what area are you going to operate in? Is it something that's going to be round 5 miles from your office or from your home? Or is it a much larger area? Is it the Medway towns, Maidstone, the whole of Kent? Maybe it's the southeast, the south, national or international. Defining your sandbox, your area of operation, so that you can make sure that you can service those customers in that area, and you're doing all your marketing and delivery so that you deliver an excellent product or service to those customers that you identify. You may be lucky enough that you've already got contracts or orders in place before you start your business. And if so, how can you get more of those contracts and those customers? Is there a tender process? Is there a list that you can get your name on, or accreditations that you need to be able to service those customers? Something that's very common in the construction industry, where you've got to have the right accreditation. Or maybe your business will be enhanced by getting an Investors in People or an ISO 9002. But it's just defining what it is that you need to deliver on those contracts and orders. And then lastly in this section, what's your brand promise? What is the articulation of your why? What are you going to deliver every single time you service a customer or you interact with a customer, so that your customers know exactly what they can expect from you as a business? And then putting systems and processes in place so that you and your team, if you have one, deliver that brand promise every single time. And a great example of this would be McDonald's, where you know that a Big Mac in Land's End is going to be very, very similar to a Big Mac in John O'Groat. You're going to have that expectation of what you're going to get. Now, it may seem strange at the outset of your business to think about the end, but it's important to consider, am I just having a business that's replacing a job that I did have previously? Is it just going to be a lifestyle business where I can earn a very nice income that suitably rewards the efforts that I put in? Or do I have grander ambitions, and do I want to float the business or sell it to the future management? Because if you want something of the latter, then it's important to make sure that you have that in mind at the beginning, so that you set in place systems and processes that will make sure it's easy to explain to new team members how you do things, how they operate around here. How do you deliver your brand promise to your customers? Because one of the biggest frustrations that we come across when we deal with new businesses that are growing and the owner wants to become detached from the day-to-day operations of the business, and I had this myself, is that they get too involved in the day-to-day running of the business that they can't think and act strategically. And when they do take on team members, one of their frustrations is They just can't do it like I do it, and that it's easier for me to do it themselves. Well, this is a very common trap to fall into, and as I said, I fell into it. But if you can document your systems and processes and your quality standards and the timescales that you expect a job or a service to be delivered in, and that's written down, then new team members can come in and they can read those documents, those systems, those processes, and that will help them to deliver your goods and services to the standard that you would do it in the timescale that you would do it. Because if you haven't told them, then you can't blame them for not doing it right. So again, get that very clear at the outset. And if you want an example how to do this, then read the E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. It sets out in a worked example how you can go around putting this in place. Now the third thing, when you've looked at the competitors in your marketplace, how are you going to stand out and what's going to make you different? For me and Aspirations, we defined our team values, and everything that we do in the business is in alignment with those values. For us, it's being courageous, committed, supportive and inspiring. So every service that we offer, we line up against those values and measure it to say, does this service meet those values? And it's also helpful when dealing with team issues or customer issues or any problem, is that if that team member makes a decision that is in line with our values and it doesn't break them either for themselves, for the customer or for the team, then that decision will always be correct because they've lived in alignment with our values. And then your clients or your customers will understand those values and that they will expect it, and they might not see it in a competitive business. Another way of standing out is when you're talking with your customers, is rather than listing a big long list of features like the Microsoft example with all the technical spec, then take the Apple example with the iPod and just say it's 1,000 songs in your pocket. It doesn't matter how fast the music is transferred from the hard drive into the audio system or what the quality of the speakers were. The problem that it solves for customers is that it puts 1,000 songs in their pocket so they don't have to carry around lots of CDs or cassettes, for those of you that remember cassettes. So it's really solving a problem that is important to your clients or your customers. And then having got those solutions, give them a real reason to believe that you can deliver upon them. Customer testimonials, case studies, if you can get them on video, even better, so that your prospective customer can see one of your current customers talking about how great your goods and services are. Finally, is that you can offer a guarantee that your competitors don't. At Aspirations, we offer a guarantee that any piece of work is only complete when a client is 100% satisfied with that work we carried out. And if they're not happy with any aspect whatsoever of that work, we will, without question, respect their right to pay whatever amount they feel is more appropriate for the value they believe. Now, by having that guarantee, you're reducing the friction between you and your potential customer. You're making it easy for them to buy from you, and that again may just stand you out from your competitors. Now, the fourth pitfall, staying on top of the numbers, and right at the top of the list there is your cash flow forecasting. Many successful businesses either shut or come close to shutting, not because they didn't make the profits, but because they didn't have the money to pay the suppliers, the overhead, the rent, rates, HMRC and their taxes. You may well have sold many boxes of goods or many hours of your time and service, but if you don't know when you're going to get paid for those goods and services by your customers, when you need to pay your team or your rent or your other business expenses, if the money's not in the bank account, then you're going to have a problem. And when we speak with bank managers, one of their biggest frustrations is not that they can't help small businesses finance their operations, is that they don't get enough early warning that there's a problem coming. It's always, oh, I've got a cheque coming in tomorrow and I need you to honour it, or I need to pay the wages at the end of the week and I haven't been paid by XYZ Limited. But if you're looking ahead and working out when's the money coming in and when do I need to pay it out, then you're going to be in a great position to have an early warning system that there may be cash flow problems ahead, and then you can speak with your accountant, your bank manager, and put a plan in place so that you can bridge that shortfall. Now, when you do your forecasting, you want to look at all your income and expenses, and we recommend that you start off with your personal expenses, especially if you've just left a PAYE job where you got a paycheck each month. As a business owner, you're going to be last in line to get paid, which means you need to know exactly what your monthly mortgage or rent is, your rates, utilities, your Sainsbury's bill, you're running your cars, insurances, and all those other expenses, so that you have a very clear understanding how much your business needs to generate for you each month for you to be able to live and keep paying those bills. Now, once you have that figure, you can then add on your overheads of the business. This is your business rent rates, your telephone, travel, stationery, and all those other expenses that keep your business going. And then what that will give you, if you're a manufacturing business, is the amount of gross profit that you need to make to cover those expenses each month. Now, gross profit is your sales income less the expenses that you've incurred in delivering those sales. So that will be all the materials that you've made into that product, your packaging, your delivery, any labour that you've paid out, either PAYE in-house or subcontract because you bought it in from the outside. And when you take all those expenses from your income, that gives you your gross profit, and then that will need to cover all of those business expenses and personal expenses. Now, if you're a consultancy business or you're just selling your time, then once you've added your business expenses to your personal expenses, that's how much income you will need to generate each month to keep your head above water. So you can work that back into how many projects, how many days you need to work, what sort of hourly rates you might need to charge if you're charging on an hourly rate, so that you've got a very clear understanding of what you need to be doing each week and each month to stay on top of your cash. And an easy way to do that is to have a good online bookkeeping system. At Aspirations, we have our own online system where you can create sales invoices, log expenses wherever you are. You don't need to be in the office to do it. And that's one of the great things about having a cloud-based bookkeeping system. It also means that if you've got a business advisor, accountant, then you can give them access to log into that and then help you keep on track of your bookkeeping and your business. To keep on track of your business, we recommend that you produce monthly or quarterly accounts and compare the results that you have to the original forecast that you did, so that you're stepping back from the day-to-day running of your business and looking at the results, what your income was, what your gross margins are if you're producing a product, your overheads, and is it generating the money that you need to live on. By stepping back and looking at the numbers, it gives an insight into your business that you may not appreciate once you've got your head down and you're in the day-to-day running of the business, because there's so many pressing and urgent issues that you just don't step back and see that bigger picture or take that helicopter view. If possible, it will be great to discuss those numbers with a non-executive director, a great accountant, a business friend or associate, just so that you can get an external perspective on what you're doing and are you doing the right things right. And a great way of recording all those key numbers is to have a one-page plan, so you've got everything that's going to monitor the success of your business on one piece of paper. It's also called a balanced scorecard, so that you're not thumbing through pages and pages and pages of financial reporting and other information. It's all on one page, nice and easy to see. And you need to be doing your accounts and have a good bookkeeping system so that you can produce all this information. Now, there's a lot of admin and accounting tasks there that may not be your strength, and a lot of business owners find that they're so busy during Monday to Friday running their business and dealing with their customers and queries and problems that they end up doing this type of admin and accounts work at the weekend, just when they should be enjoying the fruits of their hard work, the freedom that they thought you would get when you started your own business. And what you end up doing is spending Saturday and Sunday afternoon doing the admin tasks, and it's then very easy not to do them properly or just to leave them, and then the problems can potentially build up. Now, it makes a lot of sense to outsource this type of activity to a virtual assistant, a great firm of accountants, to do it for you, to give you time away from the business to enjoy with your family, friends, hobbies, just relaxing. And by outsourcing it, it's more likely that a better job will be done, because it will be done by professionals who are trained in that particular area, and not just something that you've had to do as part of running the business. And it can be then very easy to let important deadlines or tasks slip through because you're just too tired or don't know all the things that you should be doing. Now, when you are measuring your targets on a one-page plan, make sure you're measuring what's important to your customers. There's no value to your customers in that you've got the most efficient product line in the country, or how long it takes for something to pass through your factory, because what that will mean is that you could have the most efficient pile of boxes in your warehouse, but you've missed something that's important to your customers. Now, it's more difficult to measure this than what's my production line, what's my number of hours that I've worked or billed in that particular month. You want numbers that are going to predict the future success of your business. Now, that may be something like the number of appointments you've attended, the number of networking groups you've been to, the number of telephone calls, appointments made, the number of orders in the system. It could be what's your standings on social media, or how many visits you've had to your website. But it's looking at what's the things that are important to my customers and how can I measure them, and then reporting those numbers regularly so that you and your team know how you're doing at the moment in comparison to the targets that you've set for yourself. And by having that number clearly understood and clearly displayed for everyone to see, you can align your whole business with those important targets that are going to be a guide to the future success of your business. And with those targets, make them smart. Now, I'm not suggesting that all targets are stupid, but what I mean by a smart target is that it's specific, measurable, achievable, realistic and timely. So let's take an example. Continental Airlines. In 1994, they were on the verge of going out of business. New management came in and they identified that their lost luggage rate at 1 in 57 was below the industry standard. So they set a target to reduce that to 1 in 100 passengers by next November. So let's compare how smart this is. Well, it's very specific, because it's not just improve on 1 in 57, it's improve it from 1 in 57 to 1 in 100. Is it measurable? All airlines monitor and measure their lost luggage. It's part of their normal routine, so it passes a measurable test. Is it achievable? Well, if the other airlines in the industry are doing it, then it must be achievable. Is it a realistic target? Well, again, if that's what the competitors are doing, you've got to be doing at least that, and you could argue that their target should have been 1 in 120 or 1 in 150, so they can actually take a step ahead of those competitors. And then, is it timely? Well, yes, because they said it will be done by next November. Now, what this enables the business to do is to align behind that one target and compare every decision that they're taking as to whether it's going to improve their lost luggage performance or worsen it. So there's clear alignment for the management of a big company, but it's just applicable to a small company. Right, well, that brings us to the end of this presentation. So how can Aspirations help you? Well, on the 12th and 14th of November, we're offering a free workshop to the visitors to the exhibition and watchers of this video, where we will explore in greater detail these 5 pitfalls and how we can put an action plan in place to help you avoid those pitfalls and make your new business the best it can be. You'll also have the opportunity to network with other business owners or people looking to start a business and share your experiences, your opportunities, your problems with them, because there's no greater power than sharing a problem with people in a similar position to you, and then you can gain that knowledge and that confidence that will help you to make your business the best it can. Because being a business owner is a very lonely place at times, and the buck really does stop with you. Well, thank you very much for watching this video. We'd be absolutely delighted if you could follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn or on Twitter, or just connect with us. Got the website there. Please go and have a look, and I look forward to speaking with you sometime in the future. Thank you.